So, Aman, tell me about a little bit what you want to improve in yourself.
Well, to be honest, I have a very big problem. I think so in listening to other people. In the sense is that I generally tend to speak a lot faster when I'm talking with normal people too, like in a normal conversation. I generally tend to speak a lot faster, and that sometimes creates a problem when to the other people because they don't understand my point of view or they don't understand what I'm saying. So and that can lead to miscommunication, which sometimes can lead to some differences between people, and that's really wrong. So I really like to improve myself about that.
When you speak about this, I noticed that you probably have some experience with that you were trying to listening or not, and maybe made a bad environment in some place.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit? Give me some example.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a time when I was with my team. We were talking about a case for a project, and when we sat down and were discussing our point of views, I was so engrossed with my point of view and I thought that it would be perfect for the project that I actually decided I was actually not listening to my other teammates. They were talking, they were also talking some good points and some points that were similar to mine, but I was so engrossed with my own idea that I sort of became too dictatorial in that nature, and I sometimes pushed my ideas upon them. So that was a really bad option that I chose at that point of time, and it was really rude of me to not listen to them. So and that was an experience which I felt that actually affected me, not just because I was speaking so fast and pushing myself, because I thought I was rude to them. Because if anybody does that to me, I thought that I would feel the same way, and even much worse than what they did and what they said to me. So I would really like to improve that portion of my behavior, if I can say that.
Let me ask you a question. When you say that you noticed that you were rude and maybe impose your ideas, did you get to this conclusion by yourself, or did you ask for some feedbacks, or they gave you some feedbacks, your team?
Actually, there was a session where we had to give feedbacks to each other as a team, and they gave me that feedback about it. And to be honest, I didn't argue with them regarding it, because in deep down I knew that it was true, whatever they said, because I was actually a little bit dictatorial in nature. When I try to convince my ideas, I may be too strong on people. So I thought that that was a really accurate observation at that point of time. I didn't make a very good impression upon them. So I think that was a big problem for me at that point of time, to not listening to the people.
Okay. After this feedback, did you trying to have some self awareness when you are in another team meeting, or in another situation that you 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 notice that you were imposing your ideas and you're trying to hold back a little bit, or you're not after that you're not take conscious about it?
To be honest, there was I would like to tell you about something that happened after that event of getting that feedback from my teammates. I actually sat down by myself. I was working on some project the day after, we had to submit the day after, and I was sitting alone and I was working on my project, and I realized that whatever they said, it was actually going in my mind. So whatever they said was actually kind of true. I was having some kind of a self reflection, and I really asked myself, why was I doing that at that point of time? Why was I not conscious enough to understand that I was actually not presenting myself in a good way? Why wasn't I being polite to people? Why was I continuously interrupting them? Then I figured. Then I put myself in place of them, and I realized that I was actually not very good at that point of time. I didn't show my best behavior, and I had that self realization, and I went back to some more incidents that happened long before I started college, and back in my home country, India, where I used to talk to people, and sometimes I abruptly used to interrupt them from talking and presenting their ideas, which I felt was very rude, and I had kind of a self reflection at that point of time. So yes, I had a certain moment of self-awareness and about it, and but I just didn't know what to do about it because that was my nature. It had some sort of became a behavior for me. So I really didn't understand what I have to do about it.
Hmm. And how actually, when you come to the self reflection, how this made you feel?
I was actually not feeling that good about myself, to be honest. I was actually kind of, I wouldn't say disgusted, but something similar to that, if I can say. The next day when I met my team, I actually apologized to them regarding my behavior, and I said that no, if there's something happens like this, please confront me there and then because I need to learn what is the true, what I need to learn the patience of being to work in a team. Because to be honest, I never had a experience of working as a team. To be honest, I was always a self kind of a guy, so I never had that kind of an experience. But I asked them to be patient with me and to give me a chance to again prove myself, and next time I'll show my better efforts about it.
And do you think that you're Indian, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this is a culture thing also that back there you have to really impose your ideas? Tell me a little bit about it.
Actually, back in India, I don't know if I can say it's a cultural thing, but I would say that it's more of a competitive thing. We have always have a competitive environment around it, so to get the best where we can reach, to be honest. So we are always having a competing in nature regarding during my school days too. I was trying to compete with people on different projects, on games, in during colleges, in different competitions and different kind of scenarios. So I was really competitive. I was always brought up in a really competitive nature. So maybe that can be a reason that I have so much of a dominant kind of nature, even though I don't want to be. But I have that much of a problem with me.
Hmm. I understand this because, for example, Brazilian way is also like this. We live in a very competitive environment, but not because of this we interrupt a lot. It's more because of the way of the Brazilians are really friendly and stuff. So we always trying to make conversations and connect to people. And sometimes this is rude because a person is talking and when we go right through it to make our point or to do observation. But I think the first thing that you should realize is that is a common problem, especially from people who have like a background, a really long professional background, and in depends of your position, and also is a human thing to do because we always try to improve ourselves to make our points. But I think maybe you should always um, trying to realize are you where you are. Obviously, in your job as a competitive way, you sometimes have to do that, but it's not the best thing. Here at Hope, for instance, is a safe environment that you can talk and you have to listen a lot and and you can make mistakes. So was a really good thing that you talked to your fellow class teammates, apologize to them, and realize to that maybe you have to adapt. So maybe since you have so much to contribute, uh, maybe if you write down your ideas when people are talking, that's a good way of starting. Trying to always, when the person is talking, you take notes and let them finish and just say, yeah, yeah, I have to, and try to make the connections. Like, oh, about what you're saying, I like to do a point to speak something about it and trying to make a smart conversation, like a grow conversation with that, and not only cut your team ideas or the person ideas, proving your point, trying to construct with them, and also I think this is a cultural way again. Uh, the way that, and I speak to myself too as a Brazilian, the way that sometimes we talk We talk loud, we talk fast, and we talk with so effectiveness sometimes
Yeah.
that it appears that we are imposing our ideas. So maybe you have to first realize that we are very different, multicultural people, that maybe speaking that way you can offend someone, or maybe if you have to speak that way. So know your crowd, your audience first, um, but trying to speak slowly or in a way more soft, in a soft way, so everybody is in the same page, and trying to grab always your team opinion. Make your point, and ask someone, what do you think about that? This way, you are bringing people close to you, and not only say what you want to say. Uh, and maybe another option for you also is trying to relax a little bit. Try to to feel the the environment and connect to people, because when you listen, you usually you connect more than when you're speaking, because they feel appreciate that you're doing that. So I think that you really have to be self-aware all the time, because this is a thing that you have for so long. It's your way of doing. It's your persona. So this is gonna be a tough job, really tough, because change this over the years is so difficult, and in the small time that we have here, it's more difficult.
True.
So, do you think that options they fit your purpose about listening?
I think the option to write down. I think that's one of the things that I can really do, because I think that will help me to to understand the conversation, as well as to point out the problems that I need to talk to them regarding on. Another thing is about knowing your audience. I can completely agree upon it, because the thing is that there are some times when we need to speak fast and speak some dominant way, especially when we are giving a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to talk. I need to know my audience. So I would really appreciate these 2 points. And the rest of us is also more of a conventional thinking kind of a way, because I need to relax. That's true, because I'm always on a hyper mode. So I really need to relax. I can understand that, and I think these are the things that I can move and work forward with.
Yeah, and work with you're very good talking. You have a great vocabulary and everything, but there is always keep your mind there is a difference between you speak effectively or imposing. Yeah.
True. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think you did a great job. At certain point, you took the risk of asking about her cultural environment, and it's kind of risky, but at the same time, you resolved the whole situation by putting yourself on the same level. So, and it was great, because we, as Latino, we always have some reason to speak fast or loud. It's not always to prevaricate. It's more times like for emphasis. We really care about the topic, so we feel the need to talk. So it was risky, but at the end of the day, it was a great question, because you opened the whole world after that. And it was good that you made him and me realize that sometimes, most of the times, we mixed our personal life with our working career. So we tend to be the same person in two different environments. So it's really great. You suggest him to just relax, take his time, and to differentiate. Sorry, his personal life from his working life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you did a great job. I don't know where you did it wrong. I don't think you did anything wrong. Maybe just that move was risky a little bit, but you managed with expertise. So
I think
congratulations.
Thank you. You went back? Okay.
Yeah.